So something happened this week that I'm still honestly kind of processing. Someone approached me saying, hey, I'm trying to sell my collection, and they had a lot of really cool stuff that I was interested in, and we worked out a very good deal for a ton of complete in-box consoles, complete in-box N64 games, complete GBA games, and more. So today, I'm going to show you what I got for just about $1,000, which is definitely the biggest buyouts I've ever done for a collection. Let's get into it. Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Bo Talks Games, or Its-A-Mii, if you will. So today I have just a ton of games. I got a really good deal on this. Huge shout out to the person that sold them to me. About $1,000 in on this entire lot. I believe if you bump it all into price charting, it's like $3,000 worth. So yes, I got a very good deal, but the dude seemed really happy that it was going to an actual collector. I showed him my collection. He was like, oh, you don't have like any retro games? I was like, yeah, I mostly have modern stuff. And he was like, here, I'll help you out. I'll give you a little head start on your retro game collection. So we have a ton of retro games here that I could not be more excited to add to my collection. So we're just going to take our time and go through and really enjoy looking at all of these games. I've put some stuff into protectors, some stuff I still haven't gotten around to getting a protector for. So yeah, let's just kind of look at this insane buyout I did. All right, so first up, we'll take a look at the Game Boy Advance games, as well as one Game Boy Color game that snuck in the lot. This is what he initially approached me with, and eventually it kind of like spiraled into me being like, hey, you have any other retro games? N64, GameCube got in there as well. So starting off with the GBA stuff here, in no particular order, a lot of Mario games. And for those new to the channel, my Game Boy Advance collection it's starting to get there, especially now after buying all of this, but I really didn't have that many GBA games complete in box before. I had some loose cartridges from when I was a kid. I bought my roommate's collection a couple years ago, so I had some stuff. Like I have some loose Pokemon carts, but in terms of complete in box Nintendo GBA stuff, I really didn't have like anything. So very excited about these, very excited to start doing videos on these. I'll probably do a whole separate video just on GBA, to be completely honest, as well as a couple other things, because there's just so much to dive into here and really talk about. But anyway, without further ado, I'll shut up and start showing you the stuff. So first up, we have this beautiful complete copy of Mario Golf Advanced Tour. I have not played any of the handheld Mario sports games, or I shouldn't say that. I haven't played any of the RPGs, basically, from the Game Boy Color and the GBA, but I've heard these are really unique. You don't actually play as Mario, you play as these weird anime kids down here. Already threw this one in a protector. This one goes for about like $80 complete, I think. So very happy to have this. This is one I'm like actually like, I want to play this like soon. Like I'm really itching to play a Mario Golf game. And I've never played this one. In fact, to be honest, I grew up with GBA and DS kind of at the same time, but I don't like think about a lot of the GBA lineup. So when I saw this Mario Golf game, I was like, oh yeah, right, that there is a Mario Golf game on GBA. Like somehow I had just completely forgotten about it over the years. But then we also have Mario Tennis Power Tour, a similar thing there where I had like completely forgotten that this exists. I'm not sure how much the RPG elements really play in with this one, but this one is very clean as well. Got the anime characters on the back there. Definitely excited to check out this. Mario Sports, I've learned over the years, I actually really like. Like, I really like tennis games and golf games, specifically in the Mario universe. Although, honestly, I was thinking about trying out that, like, 2K Power Tennis or whatever that came out on PS5 this year. Just, like, I think I kind of just like sports games. I don't watch sports, but I don't know. Sports games, kind of fun. So yeah, a really cool duo of Mario sports games to add to the collection. But that is not it for Mario, no sirree, because this man loved his Mario GBA games. In fact, every GBA game here is a Mario game. So I asked him if he had any other stuff for GBA, and he was like, no. So I was like, okay, man didn't play Zelda on GBA, man did not play Metroid or even like Final Fantasy I was asking him about, just a ton of Mario. But then I knocked out an entire subsection of the GBA collection here with every Mario Advance game. So this one's a little bit more beat up, as you can tell with the box, but Super Mario Advance, I never had this one. I think this is the one I was missing growing up. Even the front of the box kind of has a little bit of wear in that corner, as you can see. Most of these games are complete, like they have everything in there. Some of them are missing like the white cardboard inserts. One of them is missing the manual for another console, which we'll get to. But overall, most of them are in like really good condition, especially for the price I was paying. Like I can't complain about that little crease right there, let's be honest. And then we get into some of the games I actually grew up with playing on my GBA, so really kind of surreal to have Super Mario World, Super Mario Advance 2 here. Of course, has the Link support. And yeah, very, very cool. This is how I played Mario World for the very first time, so happy to have this in the collection. as well as Yoshi's Island Super Mario Advance 3. This was the first way I played Yoshi's Island. So yeah, it's just very, like, almost surreal to have these games again, because I didn't even have them loose. I sold all my cartridges years ago to GameStop, or like maybe a half-price books or something. So to have them all, not only at all, but also to have them all complete is very cool. And then, of course, the final Super Mario Advance game, Super Mario Advance 4, Super Mario Bros. 3, one of the best titles Nintendo has ever done. And it's all in there. In fact, I'll actually pop this one open. I wasn't sure exactly like what was coming with all of this stuff. I didn't get a chance to like look at everything like really closely when I bought it. So I was very happy to find that, if I can open this without possibly damaging it at all, this actually does include something that I was a little worried it wouldn't have, but it does have the e-reader cards. In fact, they're still sealed. So yeah, that's just really awesome. I actually have an e-reader I found at a Goodwill a couple years back, so I'm excited to try out the e-reader levels. I've actually never played them. I know you could play them on Wii U, and I think on Switch Online, but I've never played them. And yeah, just to give you an idea of the condition, like, I mean, literally all the inserts are in here. Little Nintendo Power Offer, the manuals. So yeah, pretty much every game is in that condition. In fact, this isn't a great example. This one, of course, is cartridge here, but a lot of them actually still have the plastic that the cartridge like would come in. In fact, here, I'll just go ahead and open one up and show you. So if we take a quick look at Mario Power Tennis here, for example, as you can see, it's still like in the actual plastic. Like, this man took really good care of his stuff, which I really appreciate, because yeah, I'm excited to play these, maybe throw it into the Game Boy a couple times, but I'm not going to be like constantly getting this out. So to have it like basically in like new condition is very, very cool. And then rounding out the Mario GBA games was this copy of Mario Kart Super Circuit. I would say this is the worst condition one of the bunch. It looks like maybe some residue got there. Maybe it was just a sticker seal or something from when he bought it new. But, I mean, honestly, I don't like Super Circuit that much. Of course, I gotta have it for the collection. But yeah, Super Circuit is probably my least favorite Mario Kart game. I really, really don't like this game that much. But I'm not complaining. I have it in my collection now, and that is very cool. And then the final Game Boy game here is actually a Game Boy Color game. It is Super Mario Bros. Deluxe, but as you can see, it's pretty damaged. This is one of the worst condition games in the buyout. Not complaining too much. I'll keep this for now. Eventually, if I find a good deal for a better condition copy, I'll trade it out, I'll upgrade it, I'll sell this copy. But for now, just having it on the shelf, I'll put this in a protector, and that'll be pretty nice. In fact, I haven't actually opened this one up, so let's see the condition of this bad boy. I don't think I do. Do I have any? I don't think I have any Game Boy Color games, actually, in box. Until now, so very cool. Yeah, here we go. This is real-time reaction, opening this for the very first time. Got the cartridge, as well as all the inserts. I think I actually have an extra manual for this somewhere. I don't know why. Now, I said that was all the GBA games. However, this kind of came out later. Like, I was buying all these games at first, and then he was like, okay, are you interested in any consoles? And I was like, yes. Let me see the condition. I already have a lot of GBAs. I have a lot of these other consoles. I don't have them in the box, and honestly, a lot of them are not in the best condition. And obviously, this guy took care of his stuff. So here we have a complete in-box Game Boy Advance, the original launch model. I believe this was a launch model, right? Just so cool to have this. As someone, I was born in 2000 for those that are new, so I'm turning 24 here very soon. I grew up with GBA, but I was not there for GBA. Like, I did not remember the launch of the GBA at all. I remember getting a Game Boy Advance SP at Kmart with my grandma, got the red one, and my sister got the silver one, I believe, but I wasn't, like, there. So a lot of this packaging, like, isn't really nostalgic for me, I'll be honest. However, like, I can feel it. I can feel the nostalgia, even though I didn't really grow up with this specifically, if that makes sense. I don't know if I don't know if I'm making sense here. Just kind of giddy to be looking at all of this stuff. I love the old, like, consoles don't really market games on the back of them anymore, do they? Like, I don't know, like, the Switch doesn't have any games on the back of it, but here we have Yoshi's Island, Link to the Past, Metroid Fusion, and Golden Sun all being marketed. I'm not going to open this up right now. I'm going to do a separate video talking about, like, buying a new Game Boy Advance in 2024 in a couple weeks, and just kind of talk about my current GBA obsession. And I'll probably do similar videos for all the other consoles that are in this a lot, just to kind of eke more out of it, to be honest, and really go more in depth with my thoughts. But that is it for Game Boy Advance. Very cool stuff right there. That already, like, man, I'm geeking out. Like, I mentioned it in my pickups video a couple days ago that a lot more Game Boy Advance games were going to be in the next pickups video. Well, that's the first wave. And trust me, I'm going to be honest. There's more. There's more in the next pickups video. Next up, we have another complete in-box console that I did not own, and I especially didn't have this color. He had some DS games, but I decided not to buy them. Even though it would have been a very good price, I realistically could have flipped them if I wanted to. I already had it, so it was like stuff like Mario 64 DS and Diddy Kong Racing. I already have those games. I figured if he wants us to go to a real collector that's really going to kind of cherish these items that he grew up with, I'll let it go to another person that will hopefully buy them and just, actually own them and play them. But I got a complete in-box Nintendo DS, a launch model Nintendo DS, which is really cool. Once again, not going to open this. I think a video going more in depth on DS stuff would be a lot of fun. But yeah, this does include the Metroid Prime Hunter's First Hunt demo, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I already checked it out. It's in pretty good condition. I'm really, really excited about this, even though the launch model DS isn't very good. Here's a game that I played growing up on the Wii. This is the only Wii item in this entire bundle. I don't know if he didn't have his Wii anymore. I would have probably bought it if he did, just to have a complete in-box Wii in the collection. He did have a copy of Mario Kart Wii, but I already had that, so I passed on that. But we have the big box with the Gold Classic Controller Pro for GoldenEye 007. I remember playing this game online with my friends back in like 2011, 2012. A lot of fun there. So yeah, this does have the controller, the game. I didn't have the game at all. So yeah, this was really cool to get back in the collection. Also, the Gold Classic Controller. Growing up, I bought the Skyward Sword bundle that included the Gold Wiimotes, and I remember distinctly selling that Wiimote to GameStop for like $10. One of my biggest regrets. I really need to replace that. This is kind of dusty. Some of this stuff does need wiped up. I assume it was all sitting in like an attic or a garage or something. So yeah, I need to clean up some of this stuff. But it also has the game in here as well. I don't know if you can like find custom servers for this game. I don't know if it would have that kind of community, but here is the game itself, which is pretty cool to add back to the collection. He did have a few NES games in box, as well as I think like a loose Mario Paint cartridge or something. I passed on the Mario Paint. If I'm gonna buy something, at this point I'm just gonna try to get it complete. But these aren't in that great of shape. In fact, honestly, I kind of like almost regret paying for them, but at the same time I got such a good deal. I mean I really can't complain. If I wanted to sell these and trade up for a better condition copy like the Mario Bros Deluxe on Game Boy Color, I probably could do that. But here we have a copy of Mario Bros 2. As you can see, yeah, this thing definitely has seen better days. It's not too bad though. Like if I wanted to put it on the shelf, it could be worse. In fact, I haven't actually opened this up. I don't have many complete NES games. I have like a Captain America game my girlfriend's dad like gave me, as well as Dr. Mario for NES complete in box that my girlfriend actually got me for my birthday. So NES and in general, retro collecting just isn't something I've really focused on because I've been so busy catching up on like Switch and 3DS and Wii U. That's like what I grew up with, and well, not really grew up with, but you know what I mean. Like those are like more my formative years, so I've been trying to really pad out those collections and get all the games I want for those. But now that I'm getting to a point with those that I have a lot of the games that I want, it's really cool and really exciting to go back to a lot of this retro stuff that I obviously didn't really grow up with. So I don't know if this is fully complete. I don't know what all this would have come with. I imagine it probably came with more, but we have the game as well as the manual here, and it looks like it's just like a styrofoam block at the bottom of that. I don't know if that's normal for an NES game. I don't know. I feel like there should be like a Nintendo Power insert here or something. But maybe not. Maybe that's just a complete copy of Mario Bros 2. I don't really know. But you can't have Mario 2 without Mario 3, so we have a copy of that as well. This is in a little bit of better condition, although for some reason the bottom here is all sorts of taped up. I don't really know what's going on with that. I do have both these games cartridge only. We found them at a Goodwill like a year or two ago. I might have shown them on the other channel. But opening up this copy of this game, I did not realize. So while the box might be in a little bit better condition than the Mario 2 one, the manual for this game I've never seen a worse condition manual for anything in my life, I don't think. This thing, they tried taping it up. It's gone, man. They should have just accepted it. That's fine. These two weren't games I was particularly excited about anyway, so I'll put them on the shelf for now until I can get a better condition copy of both of them. But until then, it's fine. These are fine. I probably paid like, what, like 15, 20 bucks each on them. That's okay. Next up, we have a few GameCube games, as well as one Wii game. I misspoke. I realized I do have this game. However, I had a player's or a Nintendo Selects version, and I also was missing the manual, so I was like, okay, I'll buy that from you. A very clean copy of Super Paper Mario here for the Nintendo Wii. Yeah, mine was like really not in good shape, but this has like a great condition disc and everything. Everything here, you know, some of the discs I've checked like have some smudges on them, but for the most part, everything is in like really good condition. Speaking of really good condition stuff, these GameCube games, so nothing crazy here. In fact, one of them I kind of already had, kind of. So starting off, we had Resident Evil 4, which I did not own for GameCube. I have Resident Evil 0, 1, and 3. So I just need to get 2 and I think, Code Veronica to complete my Resident Evil GameCube set. But Resident Evil 4, obviously a very great game and cool to have on GameCube. Of course, these are the 2-disc games. A lot of the Resident Evils were 2-disc on GameCube. Got scared there for a second, but it does have the manual. This next one is the game I kind of already had. However, it is like a variant of a game. So I was like, you know what? I'll get that too. Mario Kart Double Dash, but it includes that beautiful, beautiful bonus disc. So I could not say no to that. Also, my copy of Double Dash came from a Goodwill, and I'm not sure if it even works, honestly. I've never tested it. So to get a clean, good condition copy of Double Dash with the manual, with the bonus disc, all those demos on there. Very cool. I'm actually sure what demos are even on that thing, so I'll be curious to check that out sometime. That might be a fun video, honestly, just like going through some of the old GameCube demos on that disc. And then the final of our 3 GameCube games, fellas, if you follow me for a long time, you know I say this all the time. Luigi's Mansion, one of my favorite games of all time. I didn't own it. I did not own Luigi's Mansion. One of my biggest collection sins was not owning Luigi's Mansion. One of my favorite games ever. I have it on 3DS when I was going for all the 3DS games that I needed. But because I haven't really been collecting for GameCube, honestly, getting Luigi's Mansion just hasn't really been that high of a priority. I haven't had a GameCube set up in my living space. So, yeah, here's a very clean copy of Luigi's Mansion for the Nintendo GameCube. So happy he had this. Like, honestly, even though this isn't like the most expensive GameCube game, I'm happy he had this over even something like, I don't know, like Path of Radiance, I guess. Like, I'm just happy to finally have this. No more excuses, man. I just kept like not buying it. So yeah, really happy to have this. Of course, all the goodness is in there, and I'm excited to actually play this again on actual hardware. I've played it through emulators over the years. I've played it on 3DS, of course, and I played it on GameCube growing up. But once again, at some point, stupid little child Bo who needed money to buy, I don't know, like Poke Park Wii or something, sold Luigi's Mansion for GameCube for probably $5 to GameStop. But no longer can I say I don't own my favorite game of all time. We do have one SNES game here. Normally I don't collect like the player's choice or that kind of thing, but hey, you know what? For something like this, it doesn't really matter in my opinion. But here we have a player's choice version of Tetris and Dr. Mario. In fact, I have not opened this one up, so let's take a look at what's inside. Looks like the white cardboard might be a little damaged, but opening it up, we do have the Nintendo Power Issue 100 little SpaghettiOs can. A little paper has a little dent in it, that's fine. As well as all the other inserts, the manual, and look at that, man. It even has the original plastic, which is just so awesome to me. I don't know, as someone like, I'm not gonna pop this into an SNES anytime soon. Realistically, this is going to sit on the shelf in a protector and look all pretty. But the fact that it has that plastic, like most people they didn't keep that stuff, man. So for this man to have the insight to keep it back in the 90s is very, very impressive to me. Back to the consoles for a moment before we get to our final big batch of Nintendo 64 games. I did get a complete in-box Platinum GameCube. Super happy about this. I was trying to figure out how much this is worth. I don't know. When you go on eBay, there's some that are selling for like 100, but I think those are Japanese or something. But then I saw price rating had it like $300. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I did check. I don't know if it's DOL001 or what, but it does have the other port on the back, so you can use like the fancy Carby and the GCN HD adapters. So this is gonna be my new GameCube. Like, I have a really cruddy GameCube that I'm honestly not even sure works. This is going to be plugged in very soon. And like I said, for the DS and GBA, I will be doing a full video on this bad boy, which, yeah, really, really cool to have this in the collection complete in box. It does have the wrong color controller. It has a black controller in there. However, that is fine, because also included was something pretty expensive that is really cool to have, a silver Wavebird. And I wasn't sure if it was going to include this, but it does have the little dongle, which if you go on eBay is very expensive. I haven't tested to see if this works, but I assume it does. And I've actually never used the Wavebird. Growing up, I had like, of course, like the stock black and the stock purple GameCube controllers and some like GameStop cruddy third-party ones. Never had a Wavebird, so I'm excited to see how this thing actually works. Now, this next thing was really exciting. If you have a GameCube, you have a Wavebird, there's one other thing you need, and that is the GameCube Game Boy Player. I had this growing up, and at some point I sold it. I think it was around the time I was moving out on my parents for the first time, so I just needed money. These things are pretty pricey. I believe you can get these for like, I don't know, maybe $100. So I need to test this and make sure it works, but based on the condition of everything else, I assume it does. But more importantly, the thing I was even more excited about was it included the Game Boy Player startup disc. Specifically, what excited me was the fact it had the slipcover. I, growing up, had it like this. I just had a loose one in this case, which is like weirdly small. I think it's the size of the Japanese GameCube games. So I had this, but I had never even, I don't think I had ever even seen the little slipcover for this, which is just so cool to have. And of course, with all those GBA games that I've added to the collection, as well as some other stuff that I'm very excited to show in a future pickups video, yeah, a lot of Game Boy Advance play-ins about to be happening in this household. So yeah, like the complete starter kit for GameCube has been purchased in this bundle, and I could not be more excited about that. Now, we do have one final console to show. I would say this is probably the least exciting, honestly. I think it's probably the cheapest of the bunch. However, once again, it is something that I actually owned. I actually bought this console, not one release day, but like a week after release, and I do have this color of this handheld, but it's a European model that my game store had for some reason. It's not my original launch model. My original launch model, unfortunately, broke when I was a kid because I was too rough on it, and I certainly don't have the box for this anymore. So to get a complete in-box version of my original launch 3DS is very cool. Once again, might do a separate video just on like buying essentially a new 3DS in 2024. Maybe I'll wait until 2025 on that one. But yeah, this is super sick. Very nostalgic for me. I was 10 years old when the 3DS came out in March of 2011, and having this big old hefty box again is really exciting. It's funny, out of all these systems, the DS, the GBA, I guess GameCube you can't really compare, but out of the handhelds, the 3DS box actually is the biggest. It's the heaviest. It has that big old hefty manual in there. But yeah, really happy to have this. All right, enough playing around though. We have what I would say is the final portion of this massive collection buyout, and by my count, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 complete in-box Nintendo 64 games. One of them actually is not complete, but I am not complaining. Once again, for the price I paid, I could not be happier to add these to the collection. So we'll go through these one by one, kind of slowly. He did not have a Nintendo 64. I guess maybe he sold that at some point, or maybe he decided to keep it. But he sold all the games, so I would have been through the freaking roof if he sold me a complete in-box N64. But can't be too upset. So starting off, we have some Mario Sports games, of course, on the Nintendo 64. Mario Golf. This one's not too pricey. I saw it going for like maybe 60, 70 bucks complete. But yeah, in fact, actually, before doing this buyout, I did not have a single complete in-box Nintendo 64 game. I had a few NES. I had a couple SNES. I bought F-Zero last year. I have Super Mario Kart already. I did not have any N64 games. So I now can say I have one game from every Nintendo console, which is kind of cool as a new collector, as I say with my gigantic Switch collection behind me. Then, of course, more Mario Sports, Mario Tennis. These ones, not as good condition overall, I would say, as the GBA stuff, but I'm really not complaining at all. So yeah, excited to play through these. I haven't played either of these Mario Sports games. Once again, I had an N64 growing up, but it was one of those things where, like, it was my brother's, and I played it when I was, like, 7 years old, when the GameCube was already out. So my experience with N64 really boils down to what we had, which was Mario 64. It was Banjo-Kazooie. It was GoldenEye. It was DK64. It was Perfect Dark, stuff like that. So a lot of the stuff I honestly haven't played, or if I have played it, I've played it very little through Virtual Console. This next game is a great example of that. I've played this a little bit on Wii U Virtual Console, but I really haven't put much time into it. Although, honestly, I'm not sure how much I really want to. A complete copy of Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo 64. This one, I would say, is maybe the worst condition of this first initial batch of Mario games here. A little bit more crushed, but I mean, man, this is so cool to have. I think I can handle a little crease on the logo there. All right, this next one I think is the probably best game in the entire lot. Very happy about this. This is one of my favorite Nintendo 64 games. Didn't play it growing up, but I played it through Switch Online a couple years ago, and it's my favorite game in this series, and I actually now have the entire series. Paper Mario. This is, I think, the most expensive game in this entire collection, and it is in very good condition. In fact, I haven't actually checked to make sure that there's a manual in here, so I'm going to do that really quick because now I'm scared, and I've scared myself that there's no manual in here. We haven't gotten to the game that I know for sure doesn't have a manual yet, at least according to him. I did buy a manual for it off of eBay, but we'll get there when we get there. So let me just open this up very carefully. Oh god, I am bending the cardboard. I do not like, I hate opening opening stuff like this, because I'm so scared of like creasing it more than it already is. But yeah, here we have the manual for Paper Mario, as well as just the cartridge. So I'm not sure if there was something else entirely here, or if I'm missing something. I don't know. I guess I was supposed to open it from the other way, but there is a cartridge in there. It is your choice to believe whether or not it is Paper Mario or not. I'm choosing to believe it is. A few less exciting games that I don't necessarily care too much about, but it was in the buyout. I'm going to get them, of course. Although, honestly, I have nothing against this franchise. It's a cool franchise. We have Turok 1. Once again, one of the worst conditioned ones from this entire thing, I would say. But Turok is pretty cool to get complete on the Nintendo 64, as well as Turok 2. So I have both Turok games on N64, I guess. There's another one, right? There's Turok 3 on N64 as well, right? Seeds of Evil or something? Or no, that's... It's literally staring me right in the face. What's the third one called? I don't know. I can't remember. But yeah, Turok 2, Seeds of Evil, complete on N64. Once again, kind of a damaged box, but that's fine. And then final, not as interesting, Nintendo 64 game. I was surprised he didn't have the GoldenEye. I would have loved if he had GoldenEye, because I obviously grew up with that game. But 007, The World Is Not Enough. This is the blue cartridge version. I don't know if there's actually really a difference, but it's a blue cartridge, which is always cool. I always wonder why N64 games have different color cartridges. Another one I grew up with was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. I would love to get that one complete. That'd be really cool. And then final two Nintendo 64 games here. First up, this one's not in a protector, so actually we'll open it up and kind of take a look at it. Mario Party, the first one in the series. I've actually never played this one, so definitely excited to check out this. Pretty good condition box. There's like a little indent in the top corners there, but it's fine. For a game from, what, 1997 probably, I'm fine with that. But let's actually open this one up. I'm kind of curious what is in here to make sure it's all nice and complete. Of course, we have the cartridge. Very cool indeed. As well as what I assume is all of the booklets. So the manual, this little Nintendo Power ad, as well as just like the little information consumer pamphlet. This box does have a little bit of a rip right here, if you can see that, but that's okay. It's also actually missing the cardboard insert as well, so I might swap that from like Turok or something, because I'd rather Mario Party 1 be complete than Turok. And then the final game for this video, this is the one that is missing a manual, though I did order one for like $8 off of eBay. Mario Party 2, very cool. I always love this box art with Cowboy Mario and like Wizard DK, Pirate Yoshi. This is a very fun box art. I would say this is one of the most iconic box arts in the Mario Party series, in my humble opinion. But this one is in pretty good condition, except for the barcode back there. Looks like a sticker got ripped off or something happened there. But yeah, Mario Party 2. So I'm only missing Mario Party 3 now for the N64, and then I'm missing some of the weird stuff like Mario Party E would be really cool to get, as well as Mario Party 4, 5, 6, and 7. I'm missing all of those. I think I might have a disc-only copy of Mario Party 4, but I need to upgrade that. So that is going to do it for today's pickups video. A little different, just one person's collection. I normally don't do buyouts like this, but this person approached me and I was like, hey, I'm trying to sell this stuff. I need money fast. Like, I was like, okay. Obviously, it's unfortunate when people need to sell their collection like that, but he seemed cool with it. He seemed happy that it was going to another collector and another actual gamer, not someone who's just going to, throw it online. So yeah, I was happy to buy this. I was very happy to get a good deal on all of this stuff. A lot of money to spend up front for me. I mean, normally, even for my standards, like I buy a lot of games, but $1,000 or so, like a little bit more than that actually, all at once, that's a lot. But when it's such a good deal, I couldn't really resist. I know Paper Mario alone is like a $200 game. Of course, all the inbox consoles. I didn't really have like a showpiece GameCube to put on a shelf and like actually use, so to get a nice quality GameCube is really cool. And it's also just a lot of fun stuff I can do videos on. Like I was saying, I'll probably do videos on each individual console and games and why I bought it and like why I'm excited to own it, like that kind of thing. So I think that's really exciting. I'll definitely be doing that for GBA, DS, and GameCube anyway. I've done so much 3DS stuff. I don't know if I really need to do another one, because I think earlier this year, maybe last year, I did one on why I bought a 2DS in 2023, I want to say. So maybe I won't do that. But the other ones I'm very excited about, especially GBA. GBA is like living rent-free in my head right now because I'm getting so nostalgic about all these GBA games. I'm buying new stuff I never played before, stuff I had never even heard of before. So I'm really excited about the GBA. And I'm really excited about this buyout as a whole. I got some really great GameCube games, really great N64 games, great Wii stuff. yeah, I'm jazzed. I don't use that term often. I'm jazzed about this buyout. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. What do you think of these pickups? And of course, as always, when I do these pickups videos, let me know what you have been adding to your collection recently. I don't know if I'm going to call this like a pickups video necessarily, though. This is kind of a separate thing. I don't know. I'll have to figure that out in post, but let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Of course, subscribe here for more Nintendo collecting videos, as always. That is what I mostly do here. I do branch out a little bit, but until next time, folks, of course, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at BoTalksGames, and follow my other YouTube channel, BoTalksGames, for my Nintendo news coverage. Peace!